Fuck around, make my 40 pop. No popcorn, I pop pistols, reaming my body.
Alright, y'all, we back with some huge news from the Boruto anime. Hopefully it's going to be some huge news. We don't necessarily know exactly what the news is actually going to be as of yet, but we have gotten the word that there is going to be an announcement at a supposed event. Supposedly it's going to be the Jump Victory Carnival of 2022 that's going to happen on July 17th. A very long time ago, there was actually supposed to be a very big announcement, or an announcement that was supposed to happen at Jump Festa, and that right there specifically happened around December or January. I'm not necessarily sure specifically what month. I think it was December. But during that event, the announcements that we actually got weren't necessarily the best. And I say that for a couple of reasons. At that particular time, we were coming off of a very great arc, of course, the Ishiki Osusuke and Barrymore arc. And of course, we could have potentially thought that we were gonna, possibly get a time skip announcement, or gonna possibly get a movie announcement. But at that particular time, we didn't get anything. Damn near anything. Now, of course, we got some slight information. Of course, we got the information about a novel potentially coming into the Boruto manga, but we essentially got nothing. The biggest news that we got was the fact that Sasuke Retsuden now was going to be adapted into a manga, but that was pretty much it. Now, this time around, I don't want to have high hopes, but they're going to be there minimum, because Boruto has so much potential that the Boruto writers haven't necessarily capitalized on as of yet. But in this particular video, I definitely did want to give a couple of things that could possibly be announced at that particular stage. The first thing has to be the new arc. This right here, I personally believe, is probably going to be the most realistic thing. The question is going to be, which arc is it actually going to be? I have two possibilities, and potentially even three possibilities. The first possibility is going to be the anime manga arc. This right here, I kind of already made a video about this, talking about how it's possible that this right here is, an adequate time to actually start adapting the cold arc, or even the precursor to the cold arc. And by the way, before I continue on my 5 things, it's very important to point out that this is supposedly the 20th anniversary of Naruto. Someone got to sit me down and explain to me what the situation is with the 20th anniversary thing, man, because I thought that I could have sworn that it was the 20th anniversary during the time slip arc, but now we're getting another 20th anniversary. I don't know, maybe I'm just off based on this particular point. But an anime manga arc, I personally believe that it's time. I think that a lot of fans out there are really itching to see Code. Not only that, a lot of fans out there are very tired of anime canon. Now, not only that, because it is another quote-unquote 20th anniversary, I have to bring up the possibility of an anime only arc, but it is another time slip arc. I just brought this up. The last 20th anniversary that we had, again, I don't know how it's like another 20th anniversary, but the last one we had was a time slip arc with Urashiki Otsutsuki, Naruto going back, or Boruto going back to meet Naruto, Neji, and of course the rest of the gang. Now it's very possible that we get another time slip arc where they actually visit Naruto Shippuden post time skip, when Naruto was about 16-17 years old, potentially even when Madara is around. In my personal opinion, that right there would be an absolutely amazing addition. If this is actually the case, I wanted to tie in a lot more with the actual source material from the manga. Now, don't get me wrong, of course, I personally believe that the last time skip arc is still 100% canon, but you can still have varying levels of the impact on the actual source material. We haven't necessarily seen a lot of things in regards to Urashiki Otsutsuki, Boruto mentioning Jiraiya, Sasuke mentioning Jiraiya, things of that nature. We haven't necessarily heard any of that in the actual Boruto manga. And if we go back for another time slip arc, the only thing that the last time slip arc was kind of missing, of course, Urashiki Otsutsuki, don't get me started on him, but one of the biggest things that the actual last time slip arc was missing was the plot relevancy. It didn't necessarily have that much plot relevancy, and hopefully with this new one, if we are going into another time slip arc, it'll be extremely relevant in regard to the actual source material from the manga. Not only that, a movie. A lot of people have been essentially pointing out how Boruto has been falling woefully behind with its competitions on external things other than just the anime and the manga. Those two, but specifically the other things. And I personally believe a movie is definitely one of them. My Hero Academia has a movie. One Piece, multiple movies. Attack on Titan, you name it. Damn near all the other animes out there have a movie. Boruto is the only one that hasn't necessarily had a movie in over 5 years. I personally believe it's time. Now, in my personal opinion, if there is a movie that is actually going to be made, it has to be canon. One of the things that we do understand that Boruto is kind of known for right now is the quote-unquote anime canon. Not only just quote-unquote anime canon, it's like filler. A lot of people say that, hey, majority of Boruto is filler. If there is a Boruto movie, the movie has to 1000% tie into the Kata organization, to Code, or an Otsutsuki member. 1000%. And not only that, if there is a movie, I would definitely like for Naruto and Sasuke to play a very huge part. I know people are going to say, hey, it's Boruto's story, it's Kawaki's story, it's Sarada and Mitsuki's story, etc. But we still do have to understand who the star players are in any given anime. Similar to like in Naruto Part 1 or Naruto Part 2. Of course, Naruto and Sasuke were the guys, but we understood Kakashi was a star player. We understood Tsunade was a star player. We understood that Orochimaru was a star player. Guys from back in the day, and of course, in this particular situation, Naruto and Sasuke has to take that elder statesman role. Even though they're not necessarily the main characters, I still do believe that they should have very important roles and, of course, very big parts in a potential movie if there is a movie. Now, again, if there is a movie, I talked about some of the things that they could possibly dive into. One of the things obviously being is the Otsutsuki clan. Another thing obviously being is probably going to be the Kata organization, how the Kata organization was formed, a potential look into the time skip. One of the things that we did notice about the Boruto anime is that when the Boruto movie was essentially announced, Naruto Shippuden was still running. So things like that can actually happen. But if there is a movie, I'd definitely be 1000% elated. Now, another thing that I could possibly see is a novel being adapted into the Boruto anime arc, just to give the Boruto manga a little bit more leeway and a little bit more breathing room, so the anime won't necessarily be able to overtake the actual manga. That is definitely a very good possibility, and to be honest, I think that right there might actually be one of the most realistic possibilities. If it is a novel adaptation, the novel has to be a banger. I'm really not tapped in with all the novels out there, but if there is a novel that we are going to get, it has to be elite, it has to be fire, and of course it has to bring a lot of action scenes, fighting scenes with not only Boruto and Kawaki, or potentially not Kawaki, because I don't necessarily think that he was in any novels, but not only Boruto, but of course Naruto, Sasuke, and potentially the other side characters like Sakura, Gaara, and etc. That right there would be a very, very good arc in my personal opinion. Now, the last one, I think this right here is probably going to be the most least likely. It's going to be a time skip. I don't necessarily think it's going to happen mainly because this right here was related to the actual anime or the TV anime. So the announcement, if it is a time skip, which I really definitely hope it is, that right there probably won't necessarily be the actual focal point of the announcement. It'll probably be like a, oh, by the way, the manga is going into a time skip or something like that. But if that is the case, I would absolutely love it. I'd absolutely love it. Now, another thing, there might be an announcement about the Naruto series as well. I'm not completely sure how they're doing this, but the actual tweet kind of makes it seem like there are going to be multiple announcements, one for Boruto, one for Naruto, but specifically it says that it's going to be quote-unquote new information about the Boruto TV anime and Naruto's 20th anniversary. Now, as I said earlier, the announcement is going to be on July 17th. I'm definitely going to be covering that event heavily, but let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. What do you guys want to be announced at this event? If I give my personal opinion, my dream scenario would possibly be them announcing that the Boruto manga is coming to the anime, point blank period. My second one would probably be a movie. But let me know what you guys think. It's been your boy Baara, and we out.
It's a knife.